guys just step up, it seems when we need it most. And that's obviously that's a key ingredient when you're going to go deep in the playoffs and win championships. And, hopefully we're not done yet.
Welcome to episode 293 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. What a week it's been for baseball across Alberta, so let's get right into the news headlines. And we'll start off with a big congratulations to the Medicine Hat Junior Mavericks on a phenomenal showing at the Little League Canada National Championships. They were perfect in the round robin and unfortunately fell to BC in the final. An outstanding performance, and we are looking to get their head coach on the show next week. A tip of the cap to Fort McMurray for yet another outstanding job in hosting a national championship. The Baseball Canada Cup took center stage last weekend. With BC taking the title, Alberta finished in 6th. Several big national tournaments are getting underway in the next few days, including the Women's Open Championships, the Ray Carter Cup, and the Men's Championship. We will definitely keep you posted on how all of the Alberta teams fare throughout those tournaments. The schedule is out for the 2024 Rawlings Cup being hosted in Sherwood Park, August 22nd to 25th. That should be an excellent showcase of the top talent through Baseball Alberta. And congratulations to the Edmonton Riverhawks on an outstanding West Coast League season. They once again broke the league record for attendance while also qualifying for the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. After winning Game 1 against the Bellingham Bulls, the Riverhawks unfortunately lost Games 2 and 3 of their best-of-3 series. We'll be looking to catch up with a couple of Riverhawks in the coming weeks as well. We're going to focus this week's episode, though, on the Western Canadian Baseball League playoffs. The first 2 rounds have had a little bit of everything, including super close games and a few unexpected blowouts. When the dust settled, 2 teams remained standing, the Okotoks Dawgs and the Moose Jaw Miller Express, which is a repeat of the 2022 WCBL Championship. Now, both teams have had interesting paths to get here this summer, and we'll start in Okotoks, who had a nail-biter series against Lethbridge Bulls, needing a suicide squeeze from Ricky Sanchez to emerge with a 4-3 win in the 13th inning of the third and deciding game. They would move on to face the WCBL regular season champion Sylvan Lake Gulls, who dispatched the Brooks Bombers in 2 straight during their first-round series. Now, this is one that a lot of people expected would happen, as it was the 3rd straight year for the Dogs and the Gulls to battle in the West Final, and they definitely did not disappoint by splitting the first 2 games of that series. The Dogs emerged in the third and deciding game, albeit in more convincing fashion, with a 10-4 victory, scoring 8 in the 4th inning before cruising to the end. Both Ian and I were in attendance and have a variety of guests ready for you. We'll start things off with Dogs head coach Lou Pote.
Coach, first off, congratulations on the win. Take us back to the bus ride here. What's your message to the guys heading into a do-or-die Game 3 for a second series in a row?
There's really no message. I mean, these guys we've been through some Game 3s in the past, so they know what we had in front of us, and just relax, man. It was really relaxed, and you could just sense that we were going to come to play, and man, that 4th inning was unreal. But they've been through this, man. That's the biggest thing. They've been through it. They know what it takes. And it showed tonight.
How much of a surprise was that 4th inning? Because it's been kind of a peck away at things. 1 run here, 1 run there through most of the playoffs so far, and here you go putting up an 8 spot, which would have been your best game, let alone best inning.
Yeah, no, like anytime you put up that many runs in 1 inning, it's a surprise. But you could just sense that we were having really good at bats. Hitting some balls hard at guys, and then they just kept battling and kept having good at bats and getting pitches they could hit. So and eventually we were hoping that was going to happen. So that was great. I mean, obviously that was great to see, and finally breaking out a little bit.
Is there a turning point in this series for you where you go, that might have turned the tide or gave the guys a little bit of an extra boost when it seemed like there was a lot of getting tough in this series?
You know what? I think when we tied it up in the first game, 3-3, nothing was going our way. They were outplaying us, and we tied it up. And I think that going into Game 2, that was big. Even though they walked us off, I think it was like we still got this. So I think, in Game 1, I think that was a huge thing for us to tie it up. We were really thin pitching, and we didn't want to, throw everyone out to the wolves and then be, in a bad situation in Game 2. So I think tying it up in the first game even though we got walked off, was a big momentum thing for us.
Two guys in particular that kind of stand out to me in this series, and frankly, it seems like every year we talk about them. Brendan Luther and Ricky Sanchez. What do those two guys mean to this team, this lineup?
They're our catalysts. We go as they go, and they just, Ricky, big hits, and Lou's it seems like he's on base every time. So, like I said, they've been around and lost in the playoffs, and they've also won it. So they know what it takes, and they just seem to rise to the occasion every season.
Talk a little bit about this rivalry as well, because it's very real or apparent. This team might only be 4 years old, but man, oh man, there's something brewing between Sylvan Lake and Okotoks now.
It's awesome, man. Like, this was such a fun series. Us coaches, we were talking about it. We lost game one, but it was a fun game. And that's baseball. Like, it's supposed to be, those some, edge of your seat moments, and it seemed like the first two games. And even with this game, you never know. They're going to keep fighting, scratching and clawing. But yeah, it was, it's just great baseball, and rivalries are good. And, it was awesome, man. Playoffs have been awesome so far.
I was going to ask about that. As the manager, you're obviously manning the ship kind of thing, but do you take that step back and kind of enjoy the moments as well? Because you had that crazy, end of the series in Lethbridge. You have some crazy moments in this series. Like, it feels like it's been quite the ride already from your boys' perspective.
It's playoff baseball, man. It's awesome. That's the thing. Like, we're still, well, what can we do? And these guys know what to do, right? So we just we adjusted the lineup a little bit, and guys just step up. It seems when we need it most, and that's obviously that's a key ingredient when you're gonna go deep in the playoffs and win championships. And hopefully we're not done yet.
What do you expect out of Moose Jaw now that you're facing them starting Thursday?
Probably another grind. They're gonna come out battling, and their park, hitter's park, and it's just hopefully it's a good series and we can pull it off. But I think we handled them pretty good earlier in the season. So, but playoff baseball, the best comes out. So we're looking for a tough series.
I'm always curious when you get down to the nitty gritty in a series like that. Is it more coaching towards your strengths, or are you adjusting a lot to what they give you?
I don't know if you to his strengths a little bit. You pitch to the park a little bit. Ball flies. You got to keep the ball down. It's tough to see, so it's home field advantage. So, but other than that, these guys go out, play, have fun. Summer baseball, playoff baseball, and now we're playing for a championship. So it's awesome, man. Fans are awesome. Sylvan's fans, but the Dogs Nation came out in full force, and it's awesome. Just two great atmospheres. And we're just happy we came out on top.
How excited are you for Thursday?
Oh, can't wait, man. There's no place like Stevens Stadium in August.
Coach, really appreciate the time. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Next up is the Dogs leadoff hitter, Brendan Luther, who has once again lived up to the moniker of Mr. August. He's hitting .462 with 3 RBI and some very timely hits during the Dogs' 6 playoff games.
Brendan, walk me through this rivalry. I mean, coming in, you guys exploded tonight on offense on the bats, but it was one hell of a rivalry, man. Coming off a Lethbridge series, it wasn't easy either.
Yeah, I mean, in my years in the Wick Bowl, this has definitely been the hardest playoffs we've been through so far, and I mean, kudos to them. They were amazing this year, and it's a Yankees-Red Sox rivalry now, and I think it's going to be like that for a very long time. It's really awesome, just both teams with amazing facilities, amazing squads, amazing coaching staffs, and it really just shows out here when you watch the series.
Yeah. This tonight was one of those. I mean, coming into the game, you never know what to expect. What was able to work with the bats? I felt like during the playoffs, you guys were able to get hits, but you weren't able to cash runs all the time.
Yeah.
Tonight, you did that.
Yeah, I think it was that next up mentality, right? We wanted to go for the next guy, get the next guy up. I think Ricky showed a great job of that. I didn't do my job and score the guy, and Ricky comes and clears the base with that double, and it's, I have all the trust in the world. I think I'm the best hitter in the world, but I think Ricky's also the best, and all through our 9,
Yeah.
So.
You took my next line of questioning, because you and Ricky, back-to-back in the lineup, you guys are making magic around second base there. Tell me about having a partner like that. You've known him a few years now. What clicks with you guys? Both batting back to back, but also on D.
It's just we're always on the same page. I think both of us, we play a very similar style of baseball, and for us, all we want to do is win. And it's like we're going to do whatever we can, and I think that's what makes us so good together.
You're, of course, we joke with you about being Mr. August. Yeah. Ricky, this postseason has had some big moments.
Yeah.
You look at the bunt, the triple last night. Just maybe expand a little bit on what you see from him as a hitter and just rising to those big moments.
I mean, I said it the first year, I think Ricky's one of the best baseball players I've ever played with. And I mean, he goes out and shows it damn near every night. So you just watch him and you can tell that's a guy with some big league tendencies, and he's got a great future in baseball.
Talk to me. Do you guys talk in the dugout after at bats? Just are you sharing info back and forth a bit?
Yeah, I think definitely in the playoffs it heightens it. I think we talk about every pitch we see. Me and Lumby, we talk a lot, and Logan, because we're all very lefties, similar hitters.
Yeah.
And they attack all of us kind of similar, and we all want to know. It helps us, right? So it's a lot of chatter, a lot of going on about it.
What was able to work against Tucker tonight? Tucker had that one performance where 13 strikeouts, 8 innings, or whatever it was, or complete game actually against Brooks. What was there anything in particular that you were able to see against him? Or?
When you see his name in the lineup, you know it's going to be a tough night. He's a stud. And, I think for us, we just wanted to work as much as we could, get as many guys on, and put a little bit of pressure on their defense. And I think that's what we did. And then the timely hits started to come, and it really helped us out.
You get Moose Jaw next, a rematch of 2022. Any thoughts just on facing them again? They have a lot, maybe not a lot, but they have some of the same core guys, and Mensik and Gurney and some of the pitchers as well.
I played Nate Mensik at school, and I mean, he's a dog at school, and it's going to be a dogfight again. 2022 is a dogfight. This is going to be a dogfight. It's going to be a really awesome series.
Another dog who has been a consistent threat all year is all-star Tucker Zdunich, who loved the atmosphere and rivalry with the Gulls.
First question for you, just about this rivalry. And, coming into this game tonight, razor-thin margins, you guys were able to break things open, but what have you seen from Sylvan and Okotoks? Just heavyweight fighters the last couple of years, it feels like.
Yeah, definitely the top two teams in the league, and I mean, they had a heck of a ball club this year, so much talent, and every game was just scrappy against them, and just down to the wire, and lucky for us, we got the big break and got to come out on top, but yeah, lots of respect for that program.
Feels like it took the bats a little bit to get going in the playoffs, or at least to convert the hits into runs. Tonight you did that. What was working tonight?
I think just a lot of focus and just knowing that this is the biggest game of the year for us, obviously, and we just made do with what we got, and it just turned into a big roll and worked out for us.
The Gulls get the wins record this season. They everything kind of trending towards them coming into the playoffs. Is there an element of just we're the dogs and you gotta beat us, you gotta take it from us kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, been the champs for the last couple of years and winning history, and I think we do a really good job of playing really great in the playoffs, and we just carried that into this, and good for them getting the regular season for sure, but it really comes down to the playoffs.
Is there, when you guys enter this game, you guys are such a veteran team, the batting lineup I'm looking at, everyone's you have experience. You've been in big moments, pretty much all of you. Is there a sense of calm coming into a game like today, or you still get the nerves going? Just walk me through that.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a veteran lineup with Crowson and Sanchez, Luther, Brunner, Lombard, these guys have been through this and they know how to play in these games, and it definitely keeps the team calm and keeps us focused, and we know what to do when it comes down to it.
Talk to me a bit about Brendan Luther and Ricky Sanchez. Those guys, they're kind of magic back to back at the plate, and then they dancing around second base there, just doing their thing. What do you see out of those guys?
They have great chemistry together, and they're major leaders on our team, and having them start our lineup off, it's so fun to watch, and then coming up after them, it's such a treat.
You're playing Moose Jaw in the final. You played for Moose Jaw, was it 2019?
Yeah.
Any memories of playing there, and what's it going to be like kind of going back in the final here?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing there, and actually I played with head coach Eric Marriott and assistant coach Jeff Nicolsi, and Yeah, I was thinking when it came up on the scoreboard there that they won, I was like, wow, this could be a full circle moment if we seal the deal here. And no, it'll be really cool. It'll be really fun to go back to Wells Park.
Is there going to be some phone chirping back and forth between you guys, or phones off for that?
Nah, I don't think there's going to be a lot of chirping. It's always nice to see each other, and it's going to be fun to battle this out. So.
Getting the win in Game 3 was Dawgs starter Brock Townsend, who spoke with Ian about the rivalry with the Gulls, who feature his brother CJ.
Brock, first question. Tell me a little bit about this rivalry. You've been around the Dawgs for a few years now. That was a heck of a series.
Yeah, I got to give credit to Sylvan. It's a great team, and that was a heck of a series for sure. And it means everything. Like, we're probably the best two teams in the West. So, yeah, it means a lot.
Got to meet your dad before the game. He was telling me, I don't know what to do. He's got a Dawgs hat and a Gulls hat.
Yeah.
Your brother plays for the Gulls. Just tell me about that experience, and like, are you guys chirping each other? Are you just not acknowledging it?
It's just friendly banter. I mean, it's special for them to be able to watch us both.
Yeah.
You know, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And you've pitched in some big playoff games the last couple of years. You always seem so like quiet, like level-headed. Just what's your process? Just because you seem to be getting the results when you need them in the big games.
I mean, we've been there before. Like, we're in this same situation against Lethbridge, so just got to stay even keel and just fill up the zone and trust the defense behind me.
Awesome. Any thoughts on you get Moose Jaw next?
It's going to be a great series. We had some really tough games when they came to us during the season, so I'm sure it's going to be a fun one.
Speaking of the Townsends, Ian also caught up briefly with their father, Bill.
First off, just run through the scenario with me of your two sons. Give me the scouting report and their relation to you.
Well, I got CJ Townsend on the Gulls, and he's a middle infielder. He's still got a year left eligibility-wise. And then I got Brock Townsend on the Dawgs side. He's been with the Dawgs for 3 years, and he's starting tonight. So, Game 3, I don't know what to do. I really don't.
We, as baseball fans in this area, I think this series, this rivalry has been going on for years, but this series in particular has just been excellent. It's been great baseball. It's been close. It's been back and forth. Are you able to appreciate the baseball, or are you just too nervous at this point?
Well, I'm going to tell you, we're a baseball family, and when we go to a game, it's when it's a close ball game, it's just fun to be there. Yeah. Like that Lethbridge game the other day, it went into extras, and shoot, it was nip and tuck, right? And these games are all one-run games.
Yeah.
And it could go either way with one pitch, and it's kind of exciting for us. I was a pitcher, Pam was a middle infielder, so we've got both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
You know, and one bad pitch can go over the fence. It's kind of cool.
Is there just the two brothers?
Boys, yeah.
And now are they talking to each other during this series?
We actually went fishing when they played each other in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
CJ actually got to hit against him.
Yeah.
We went fishing that morning together.
Okay.
But no, they're not talking too much in between these games. It's a rough one.
Yeah.
rough one for rough one for the Townie family. Yeah.
Tell me, getting away from the rivalry a bit, tell me about the Canadian experience for you. I'm not sure if you come up in other years, but what have you thought of the area, the ballparks, all of it?
It's just very beautiful. I mean, the ballparks, Sylvan Lake here is just fantastic, and they're up and coming. I mean, they can still grow and make a difference. You know, Okotoks, you always get good crowds. Whenever we're not even in the motels, we're always going and doing something. Seeing the sights, the beautiful countryside, you know, I want to come back after the boys are gone. Yeah. It's pretty neat up here.
You might have to do a family trip that's a little less stressful.
Yeah. Get out on Sylvan Lake without having to worry about getting to a ball game.
You're gonna dread this question, but I feel like I have to ask it. What's your prediction for tonight's game?
Well, it's gonna go 0-0 into about the 7th.
Yeah.
And then I don't know after that. Because he'll be at 90-some pitches probably.
Right. So you're seeing what the rest of us are seeing.
Yeah. I just don't know. I'm going to be in the championship either way.
Now, after Game 2, Ian sat down with a trio of players to discuss the Gulls' rivalry and the playoffs as a whole, including some of the key performances. His first conversation was with longtime Dawgs ace Graham Brunner.
Ram, just walk me through your start tonight, and just getting the ball. The season's on the line. Did you never seem like a guy who has jitters? Did you have jitters tonight?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, you never know when's the last time you're throwing, and a team like that, they're the best team that we've faced all year, and I think in my years too prior, and they're a good hitting team, and I don't want to get a job yet, so trying to life on the line right now. I want to throw another one.
Yeah. Talk to me about this rivalry. You touched on it. Like, these are the two best teams in the league going at it. This is what you want to see. Going to a winner-take-all game 3. Like, what's this rivalry been like? And you've been there like the whole way through. You've seen them the whole time. Mm-hmm. How has it grown and developed?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're the closest team to us, and it kind of just developed when they came in the league, and they come out hot, and they wanted our numbers, and it's been back and forth, and I mean, they're looking really good, but we're also looking really good too, and tomorrow's gonna be a good one.
With Sylvan breaking the wins record that you guys had, and the regular season that they had, you guys had one less than your previous wins record. It wasn't that much of a blowout of that, but did that kind of does that add fuel to the fire in that rivalry? Were you paying attention to that during the regular season?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you have it in the back of your mind, but obviously it comes down to who's hot at the right time, and obviously looking back on that 22 year, I thought we had a good squad there, and they broke it, but hopefully it doesn't mean anything that we can beat them tomorrow.
I think in the Lethbridge, the marathon game, you were warming up, I think, in the bullpen that night when you guys pulled it out and won. What's your availability going to be like tomorrow?
We'll see. I don't know. We got a lot of arms left, and I think I'd rather have most of our pen guys at 100% than me at 80. So
yeah,
I mean, after the 11th inning, I wasn't too worried about coming in for Ash, because he's been really good for us, and he'll continue to do that. So
I was going to ask you about him next. Talk to me about your closer.
He's probably one of the best pitchers I've played with here and college in general, and he's lights out. Good guy too, and he just does what needs to be done every day.
Talk to me about there's a few elements to his pitching. One is the energy and the electricity and that fire that he brings. Talk to me about that competitive part of it.
Oh, I think everybody knows that when he steps on the mound, he's going to get the job done, and he just brings the crowd up in our dugout every time he goes into the game, and just brings juice to everybody in the dugout. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how to explain. He's been lights out for us, so I hope he can keep it going for us.
And then talk to me, the other part is just the mechanics. Like, he's got a bit of a different delivery. Like, just talk to me about some of the technical parts of his pitching.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but he throws the ball hard, and he's got the other stuff behind it. I wish I could throw that hard and throw it down the middle too, but everybody's got to pitch a little bit different. But he's a great guy, and hopefully he continues that for us.
Heading up to Sylvan Lake, winner take all tomorrow. Is it going to be hard to be a spectator, at very least early on in that game? Or?
Yeah, it's always hard to be a spectator, season on the line. But I got faith in everybody in the squad right now, and the bats are starting to pick up at the right time. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good game to watch.
Next up is another friend of the show and longtime dog, Logan Grant.
Logan, just talk to me about this rivalry, this series. Sylvan, Okotoks. You're in the middle of it right now. Just tell me about being in the belly of the beast here.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, these are games you want to play in. We go to Sylvan last night. They got a packed house. Come here, packed house. Both really good teams, best two teams in the league, and just battling it out. So it's always fun.
Talk about the Dogs during this playoff run. In previous years, it's just like early rounds, you guys have kind of mowed through the competition. Lethbridge was all out battle, that was all out war, and then this series so far too it's tight. There's no gimmies.
Yeah, I mean this West Division is tough, and I mean everybody's going through a gauntlet. Lethbridge was a tough series. Those were long games, and now we're in this series. We're going to game 3, and we expected to have a long one, and we're going to see how it plays out.
Tell me about, you were in Sylvan in 2021, I think.
Yeah.
What was it like being there at the start of that franchise and being in that community with that team back then?
It was cool. It's a new program, so there's still some things to work out, and obviously they've grown and updated everything and kind of gotten into the groove of the league. So it's they're definitely a lot more polished up than when I was there, but it's a good program.
With the rivalry, Dogs have kind of been the gold standard in the league. Do you think Sylvan is, we can ask them this, but do you think they've taken stuff from the Dogs? Did you see that when they were were they maybe looking at the Dogs and what the program was doing when you were with the Gulls and trying to emulate things here and there?
Nothing that I really noticed. I mean, I don't really look at a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff. So outside of the play style, I mean, they want to compete. We want to compete. The on-field stuff is very, very similar. Both teams want to win, and we want to be the best in the league. So those are the similarities. So
expectations out of this. You got Game 3 coming up tomorrow. I mean, this is like you said, this is fun. This is what it's all about. What are you looking forward to for tomorrow?
Looking forward to the crowd and just getting to put it on show for everybody. We're going to go out. We're going to give our best effort. They're going to come out, give us their best, and we'll see how it goes.
Talk to me about the outfield defense. I've kind of noticed, it just seems like you guys are just tracking everything down out there.
Yeah, it's we just don't want to drop the ball. I think me. I play a lot more outfield in the summer. I'm a catcher at school and kind of bounce around. And my idea out there is if the ball's hit, I'm going to get it. I don't care where. And I think me, Alejandro, Tucker, all those guys that we're going to have out there, Kaufman, Landon, all those guys. We just want to catch the ball.
Yeah. And then talk to me about your closer. I mean. Just watching him from here, he's just electric.
He is.
What do you see from him?
That's the exact word I was going to use. He's awesome. He's electric. He's, he wants to be the best every single day. He's a little, he's a little psycho, but that's what you need in a closer. You want guys like that, and you want them to go out there and dominate for you, and he's done that all year. So
he kind of reminds me of Tugboat, not in build, but in that energy that he brings to the mound.
Yeah, no, he comes out there and there's a calmness over the rest of the field. We know he's going to do his thing and he's going to compete. He's going to give everything he's got. So
mechanics wise, I don't know if you've taken it at bat against him, but what do you say? He's got a funky delivery. What do you see out of him that way?
I mean, he's got good off-speed stuff, and he can run it 90, 94, 95, 97. So that's a hard arm to face. Night games too. It's hard to just pick up spin, and when he's running in there at 96, it's hard to hit. So
we've been hearing a lot about him, so why not have him on the show as well? Closer Ashton Luera is one of the newcomers for the Dogs this season, but he's turned heads all year, including that big win over Lethbridge in the deciding Game 3. He struck out 9, allowing just 2 hits over 5+ innings of relief to pick up the victory.
Tell me about this rivalry. The Dogs, Gulls, you're a little bit newer to it than some of your teammates, but you guys got something cooking here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it speaks for itself on the field. The past 2 games have been, incredible. Everyone's been seeing it, and I think it's just because we both recognize how good we are and how either one of us can take each other out in this situation. So the rivalry is real fun. It's real fun.
Did you have to learn about it a little bit during the season? Were guys talking to you about the Gulls a bit?
Yeah, I heard about the Gulls before we even played them, so I had to kind of learn about the rivalry, and then it took maybe 2 or 3 games before I got on the mound and became a part of the rivalry just like that.
Talk to me about not just the playoffs you're having, but the season you're having. The numbers kind of speak for themselves. You're ringing guys up. What's working well for you?
It's just being confident on the mound. Being confident in myself is big, of course, but also the guys behind me. I'm confident in the fastball and the fact that I can strike them out and get ahead, all that. But I'm also confident that if I do slip up and I'm not able to do that, the guys behind me will be able to take care of me, So I got their back and they got mine, so.
You're not a guy who goes about his business quietly. You bring energy to the mound. How important is that element to your game?
Oh, it's huge. I'm a real emotional player. Nothing quietly or nothing sulking in the dugout. I like to be loud about how I feel on the mound. So whenever I get into those big situations and come up big for us in those big moments, I do what I feel, I do whatever my body feels, and that's to let it out,
Talk to me about rewinding a bit to that Lethbridge game, the bullpen game. Mm-hmm. You and Kaliski going back and forth in that one. Were you just keep running me? I know you've pitched that much before in your collegiate career, but were you getting a little tired, or were you just keep running me out?
I was cool with just keep on going. The coaches, Lou and all them, were making sure that I was good to go another, but I mean, even after the 5th, I think I had one more still. I mean, I was ready to ride or die for that game. It was a do or die situation. It was win or go home, so I wanted to win. So whatever it took, I probably had about one more before I would have told them, all right, maybe that's a little much.
Give us the scouting report. Like I said, I haven't interviewed you before. Give us the scouting report on your pitching, your arsenal, what you got, what do you bring to the table?
So, I mean, the pitch I use the most is the four-seam fastball. It's usually most consistent command-wise and all that. So I like to use it to get ahead. I like to use it to put guys out. And then I throw the 12-6 curveball too. It works so well with the fastball. It just comes out looking like a fastball, and then it'll just die on you. And then vice versa, it'll come out looking like a curveball, but about to die on you, and then it's just 96 right up at the chest.
It's got a bit of that Pascual Perez element to it. So
and then I also have a splitter too, but I've thrown it maybe once or twice this season. I haven't needed it too much because the fastball curveball just work off each other so well. But I also have that in my back pocket too if I need it.
And
I already did. I already let him. Yeah, no.
I won't keep you too much longer.
Yeah, no.
You mentioned that it was a do or die game against Lethbridge. That was the case tonight too. You guys had to win. Tell me about walking into that situation. Do you get nerves? You get jitters? Or you just like, let's do this?
No, I definitely get nervous. In that 7th, 8th inning where I'm starting to realize let's come into that moment and all that. I definitely get the nerves, but as soon as I step on that rubber, it's just a different confidence that I have in myself and a different confidence I have in them and my teammates and my coaches and all them. And it's a different confidence that they have in me as well. It goes both ways. So
you're off to Sylvan tomorrow. Another winner take all, backs against the wall, all those cliches. What are you expecting out of it, and what's your availability tomorrow?
I'm expecting a big win. I'm not expecting it to be easy. It's probably going to be a good game, but I'm also expecting to go in, 8th or 9th inning if I need to, and shut them down and go to the ship.
On the other side, what a year it was for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, setting the league record for wins in a season with 44. However, they didn't get that big one to put them over the top and into their first WCBL championship. I had a quick chat with head coach Jason Chatwood about it all.
Coach, first off, looking back on this one, what was, I'll call it the TSN turning point in your eyes?
Honestly, I think we had that start. We had a really, really good start, able to shut them down. I think they put together a couple quality at-bats, and then honestly probably Ricky fighting with 2 strikes like he did and hitting that bases clearing double. I think, that's kudos to him, and that's the type of player he is. And, I mean, he did it to us last night too, so I'd say, that's probably what got them some momentum. And then after that, they kind of put together quality at bat after quality at bat, and we just couldn't find a way to get out of it. And then before you know it, it's that's an 8 spot. So that probably that inning, and obviously that moment for Ricky kind of was probably got the momentum on their side, and then we just couldn't really find a way to get things back. Till late there.
Heading into this one, what's that message as you're driving back from Okotoks? That's a tough loss. It's close. Are you saying anything to the boys? You're just like, let's lean on our experience and our talent and see where today takes us.
Yeah, I think so, right? Last night, it's tight. It was so tight all along, and one swing or one play here or there, and I mean, that could have been easily a different result, and we could have came out on top. So I think we talked to the guys quick, and we didn't really have time to frown on it because you got to get home and get prepared for today. And I like where we were. I like what we had. Josh, Tucker starting and kind of the things where we were at. So I was confident and happy with it. Just kind of one of those things. It's baseball, and we just couldn't find a way to get it done today.
It's one of those things too. I said it a few times. Your team was making great contact throughout this game, driving it to the track, but just nothing seemed to fall right where you needed it to in that moment. Is that the feeling that you had in the moment?
Yeah, at times, right? They made a couple, of course, Zola made a couple good plays and left, and right in the first inning, Green flies out to the warning track with 2 guys on, right? So that ball can carry out. But yeah, I mean, they make some good plays. They really didn't give us anything either. They played clean defense tonight, and their pitchers competed around the zone, and just we just couldn't find a way to get, like you said, get that one to fall in or get that break when we needed it to.
I know it's really early. The wound is still really fresh, but thinking back on 2024, do you have an idea as to how you're going to remember this season?
Yeah, I think special. I think it was when the guys came and we had a lot of new faces this year. So I think you don't really know what to expect off the bat. I think the guys relied on some leaders that we did have returning, and I think that they bought in right away. They played hard and they represented Sylvan Lake and the surrounding areas, and our organization is, as good as we could have asked for them, and they battled. They battled even tonight, right? They battled right to the very end. We got runners on base and put together some good at-bats. So I'm really proud of the group, proud of how they carry themselves. They played hard, and it's something that I hope this Sylvan and summer for a lot of these guys is something they'll remember for a long time.
Well, and it's a bit of a growing stepping stone as well, right? Like now you turn your attention to next year. Is there anything that you kind of got in mind already as far as what you want to do next year? What kinds of gaps you might have that you might want to address in the offseason?
Yeah, I think like right now, obviously, I think we're gonna, obviously celebrate our season and celebrate what we've accomplished as a group and see these guys out, and then yeah, I mean it's crazy, but the page turns quite quickly, and in the fall you got guys that are wanting to return and guys reaching out and schools trying to place guys. So there's a lot of guys here that we'd love to have back, and I think they'd like to come back. And I think we knew that we had some young guys, some Central Alberta guys that we were able to have on the team too. So you started getting some of that local talent in place. I think that's a huge place to start from. So excited with kind of where we're at, and excited just kind of. I thought this year as a team we took a really, really big step forward and going to kind of keep getting the momentum going and carrying on into next year.
I was going to mention the local side of it, whether it's a Gavin Galenza, you had Nate Llewellyn and Owen Pote, and you've got all these young guys who are making a name for themselves. Hunter Jones is an example. How key has that been to being able to kind of get that buy-in from maybe some guys who are sitting there going, I could never point out Sylvan Lake on a map before this season?
Yeah, you know what? I think that's the thing. You got some guys that have been here for multiple summers or returning that the locals, and then those other guys. I mean, this is starting to turn into kind of a second home for them. So they take a lot of pride in it. And like I said, we loved, these first-year guys like a Galenza or Pote and stuff like that. And obviously Nathan, when he was around, they stepped in and just, like I said, they loved it. They love playing here. They love playing in front of our crowd. And, it's such a competitive league, right? So I think that was the one thing, Nathan, when he left, he was just so appreciative. He just felt so prepared kind of going in. So it's just, like I said, the league's in a really, really good spot. I'm really excited where our organization is and where we're heading. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it was a really, really good summer.
Especially when you consider 44 wins. Like, how cool is that to be able to look back on, as much as you want to win the big one at the end of the season, be able to look back and go, we had a lot of success.
We did, right? I think that, I hope the guys realize that, as you know what I mean? Like, it's such a quick turnaround. Well, these guys are heading back to school, and we'd had some guys that have already left, and as the playoffs continue, rosters kind of start, guys have to trickle away to school. So that was important, I think, for them. I think that they had something. I think they really wanted to clinch first and clinch home field, and then, to come right down to the last game of the year and set a single season win record is remarkable, right? So it was good. It was really special, and I think that was the one thing that I appreciated is like it took everybody, right? We were very deep as a team. We used all of our guys down the stretch, and they all contributed. So that was one thing. It took everybody contributed this year, and it was like I said, really, really special group and special coaching staff. I know Matt and Wyatt. It's huge having those guys return, and so it was like I said, it was a lot of fun. It goes by almost so fast in the blink of an eye. The guys get here, and before you know it, they're right back to school. So it's you don't get as much time to enjoy it at the end of the year as you wish you would like to.
I can definitely second that notion, Coach. Really appreciate it. Again, congrats on all the success this season, and looking forward to 2025 for you.
Yeah, thank you for all you do.
Meanwhile, Ian sat down with first-year Gulls outfielder Elijha Hammill, who actually spent last season with the Dogs.
Elijah, walk me through just this rivalry, this series. I know that's a tough loss tonight, but this is one heck of a series.
Absolutely. It's definitely a tough one to lose on today, but I mean, it could go either way with both teams. It's always a fun game. It's always good to have some good competition, just go back and forth, bats going back and forth, pitching's going back and forth. Everything just has to be perfect in order to get the win. So, I mean, they came out here, did their thing, played offense, did their job, and, got to tip the hat over them. They did their thing, so good on them.
You played on both sides of this. What's it like being on the Gulls side, and what was it like being on the Dogs side?
I mean, it's pretty similar. It's just great baseball. Guys do their thing. It's a great group of guys on both sides, but I mean, whether you're playing on the Dogs or if you're playing on the Gulls, you're going to be going up against each other, and it's going to be a rivalry, right? So you're expecting rivalry when you see each other. But overall, it's great baseball on both sides. Love it. It's a great atmosphere.
Do you find the Gulls basically took some notes from what the Dogs were doing over the years and kind of like just to get better? They're paying attention to what the Dogs were doing in a way, or are you just kind of doing your own thing as the Gulls?
I mean, with the Gulls here, I mean, we've seen them quite a bit. We got a few familiars on their side, so we kind of do what we can in order to minimize the damage that they can do on their side for offense and defense. I mean, try and pick up pitches, whatever they can, because we're familiar with the guys. But, I mean, we do whatever we can in order to get the win. So, yeah.
I won't keep you much longer. There's some fireworks, etc. Is it still possible to look at this season as a step forward for the Gulls? You break the wins record. You guys did have a good postseason despite the loss tonight. Can you still look at some bright side from this season?
Absolutely. You take away the record-winning season. I mean, it sets a standard. I mean, it's definitely doable. We finished first. We can go a long way. We've beaten these guys several times before. We've beaten everyone in the league. So it's just a matter of staying hungry, keeping our foot on the pedal, and, just being hungry ones. Just wanted to win it all and just keeping that standard really high because we know we can go far with this team.
As mentioned, the Dogs are set to take on the Moose Jaw Miller Express in the WCBL final. The Miller Express had a fascinating road to the final as well, coming in as the number 4 seed in the East, but they ended up sweeping the number 1 Regina Red Sox, then had a wild second round with the expansion Saskatoon Berries. They lost Game 1 14-1, won Game 2 17-6, and it ended up being a nail-biter in Game 3 with the Millers taking the 5-3 victory thanks to a 4 RBI night from Joe Osborne and a complete game from Weston Walls. Before they boarded the bus to Okotoks on Wednesday, I had the chance to chat with head coach Eric Marriott. Coach, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.
First off, congratulations on the win. Take us through this series with Saskatoon, though, because it felt like a roller coaster. How did it feel in your dugout?
Yeah, it was a roller coaster of emotions for sure. I mean, Joe Carnahan is a phenomenal coach. They were really well coached over there, and they're disciplined, and they're a good team. We knew it was going to be a hard battle, and they punched us pretty hard in Game 1, and then we came back to our place, and we punched them right back, and then we went to Game 3, and we have a pretty veteran squad, and I liked our chances with Weston Walls on the mound, and he gave us every shot in the world to win the game, and we pulled it out.
You talked about Game 1. I'm curious what your message to the team was after that one. Is it a wash it away and let's look ahead to Game 2, or what were you telling the guys?
Yeah, bingo, you got it right there. I mean, it's only one game. I told them that it's a series for a reason. Whether or not we got walked off or lost 14-1, they still have to beat us twice, and we're an organization that's been to the East Finals for 3 years in a row, and we're a winning organization, and I told them that we can still do this. We got to win 2 games, and they got to beat us twice, and they kept their heads high and came through.
You get off to that really quick start in Game 2. Did that take you by surprise a little bit, given how it had been a tight series all series long, and then these first 2 playoff games are just kind of wild?
No, I wouldn't say it took me by surprise. We swing it as a team. We are pretty offensive heavy, and we got to their start early. We had a plan, and we stuck to it, and we wanted to see as many arms as we could in Game 2 and get into their bullpen, and we stuck to our plan, and it worked out.
What was your plan heading into Game 3?
We knew they would be shorthanded pitching wise, so we wanted to be patient in the box, have quality at bats. Every pitch matters, and move each other over, drive each other in, and score more runs than they did.
And you did exactly that. So now you get Okotoks in the final again, second time since 2022. What do you expect out of that series?
I expect it to be a hard-fought battle. Lou Pote's phenomenal coach. Their coaching staff through and through is great, and they're loaded with talent. And I expect it to be a really hard-fought battle. I expect them to pitch it well and hit it well. And if we do the same thing, then we have a good shot.
I was reading a post from Rod Peterson, who was MC for your season-ending awards, and he kind of alluded to the fact that your speech to the boys made him want to run through a wall for you. Give us the Coles notes on your message to the team heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, sure. I just told them basically that it's bigger than them individually, that every year we come here, we do this for the city. There's a lot of people that are bought in here, and that organization really cares about these 30 individuals, and that there's people that have been here before them that laid the foundation, and that it's our time. And if we really want to do this, then we have to do this together one by one. And if we can do this, then the city will always cherish this team forever, and they'll go down in history.
How impressed are you with your team's resilience to this point in the season? Because we were talking off air about the season as a whole, and it's been a bit of a roller coaster. You came into the playoffs as a number 4 seed, which was kind of unexpected because you guys had a really good season. So walk us through what it's been like from a coach's perspective, trying to navigate the ebbs and flows of what was a kind of a crazy year.
Yeah, crazy to say the least. We just try to keep everyone even keeled. We can't go up really high when things are good and go down really low when things are bad. And like you said, last year we were cream of the crop, the best team in the league, arguably, with 38-18 record. And we got bounced out in the East Finals. So this year we just wanted to make sure that we were clicking at the right time and going into playoffs, that we had the right pieces in the right spots. And I believe that we did so as a coaching staff, and the players held up their end. And hopefully we can pull this out in 2024 and sort of get the revenge on 2022.
Speaking of pieces and the right puzzle, or the right pieces in the right puzzle, and that, a couple of guys who've really kind of been the attention guys this season, and Nate Mensik and Austin Gurney. What do those two guys mean to your team and your lineup every night?
Yeah, they mean the world to us. The whole city loves them. They're celebrities here in the city, for lack of better terms. Austin Gurney just got his 200th hit as a Miller. Nate Mensik has over 30 home runs as a Miller, both over 150 games. Gurney was named our MVP. He's probably the best 3-hole in the entire league. Nate Mensik is the mayor of Moose Jaw. He is Mr. Moose Jaw, and his smile is captivating. All the kids love him, and those two are extremely big pieces of our team.
How cool is it to see guys who may not be from that area, or even the guys who are from, Saskatchewan, who get to be on your roster, kind of envelop that culture and envelop the culture that you're trying to put in place? Like, how cool is it to see them really kind of take the bull and run with it?
It's so amazing. I mean, that's why we do it. After our games, win or lose, the kids are so excited to see these guys and get autographs and run the bases and play catch with them. And these guys love it too. These guys are all in. A lot of these guys live with host brothers and sisters, and they play a big role in their lives for the summer. And it's important. I mean, it's obviously about the baseball games, but it's a big picture and everything like that. And like I said, the city means everything to me and our coaching staff. So the more that we can have the community involved with us, the better.
Final question for you here, Coach. How excited are you on a personal level to get things going Thursday?
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm so happy for these boys. These guys deserve it. And our organization has had our back since day one. And these boys have worked really hard through all the ups and downs. And I'm thrilled for our leadership, our young guys, and everyone top to bottom.
Well, thrilled for the Moose Jaw Miller Express as well. Looking forward to watching this series unfold. Coach, really appreciate the time and insight heading into Game 1.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And finally, one of the big bats for the Miller Express all year has been Nate Mensik. After tying for the league lead in home runs during the season, the veteran outfielder is now hitting .294 with 3 homers and 7 RBI during this playoff run. Nate, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Congratulations on the win, first off. Second of all, this series with Saskatoon, I think, had it pretty much all. What was it like being in the dugout, trying to handle the extremes of a big loss and then a big win and then a really close finale?
Yeah, it was a very close finale. A great series overall. Credit to Saskatoon. That was a fun series. And just like baseball, it's full of highs and lows, and you just have to embrace those and then just keep a level head. So that's what we did.
As a veteran on that squad, especially after that Game 1, what are you saying to the guys who maybe haven't been a part of something quite like that?
Yeah, just told them it's just one game. The series is 3 games for a reason. And the boys love playing at Ross Wells, so that gave us a lot of confidence going into that one, having to have them come here for Game 2.
From a big low to a big high, how do you get back to even keel so that you can go into that Game 3 with a more rock-solid mindset?
Baseball is a very humbling sport. You never know what's going to happen. You don't know if a bounce or a hop's going to go your way. So you just got to trust that all the work that we put in and all the time will pay off.
A couple of big performances in that Game 3. When I say Joe Osborne, what comes to your mind?
awesome, stud, just absolute grinder. That's what comes to my head. I have played so much baseball with that guy, so to see him succeed like that in that moment just felt just great for him. I was just super grateful for him.
And how about the pitching performance of Weston Walls?
Yes, the man of the hour. We before that game, we were talking about Wes and how he's on a few days of rest, and we were hoping for 3 or 4 out of him, and he was just grooving. That was the best I've seen him all year. He had confidence. He was hitting his locations, hitting his spots, and just played the game very well. It's fun to watch.
When he gets that strikeout of Carter Beck at the end, what goes through your mind?
Just awesome. Just so blessed and grateful that we've made it this far and that we've come through so much adversity, and it was like a breath of fresh air.
Before we move on to the upcoming series, give us a bit of the mindset going into having a new team like Saskatoon and what seems to be a bit of an early rivalry that you've built up with them. What's that like being able to take part in that series and to take part in that early rivalry with an expansion team?
I don't know if I would call it a rivalry yet. They were very fun. They were a great team to play against. They were great sports, and they just took an appreciation for the game in the right manner, and we respected that as well. And they're going to be a great organization and a great franchise. You can see it.
Absolutely.
So it'll be fun in the upcoming years to see it happen.
Absolutely. So now you get Okotoks for a repeat of 2022. What are you expecting going into this series?
I'm expecting a lot of fireworks. I think it's going to be a great 3-game set. I think we're going to come out very excited, and we're just going to have fun. Like, it's a privilege to be at this point, so just got to take it all in and embrace it.
Again, as a veteran, is there still that bitter taste in your mouth from 2022, or have you moved past it and it's onwards and upwards with basically a fresh crew?
Yeah, a fresh group, new year. We're looking to get a ring, and that's all we can ask for.
Absolutely. I was chatting with Coach before, and I asked him about you and Austin Gurney as two of the veterans who've been really staples, but also stars in Moose Jaw. He called you the mayor of Moose Jaw. What's that mean to you?
That's a funny thing that we like to say. It means a lot. Yes, I've been here for 3 years, and I've loved every second of it.
As someone from Nebraska, how different or cool is it to be thought of in that way in a place that is far from home?
It makes it feel like you're still at home. This is definitely my second home, and I appreciate Moose Jaw for that.
What would it mean to you to win a WCBL championship and bring it back to Moose Jaw?
It'd mean the world, absolutely. For the city, all that they've done for us to help get us to this point, it would be awesome to see. They deserve it.
Final question for you, and then I'll let you board the bus. How excited are you for Thursday and the start of the WCBL championship?
No words could speak for how excited it's going to be, for how excited I am and how excited this team is to go out and be able to compete together again in a Moose Jaw Miller Express jersey.
Nate, really appreciate the time. Congrats on the victory, continued success in this final and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you.
A big thanks to all of our guests for joining us this week, and thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. We'll be covering the WCBL Championship in its entirety, and when a champion is crowned, we'll be getting you a new podcast episode as quickly as we can, so make sure to subscribe on your app if you don't already, so you can get it delivered right to your inbox when it becomes available. A tip of the cap, as always, to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dawgs, Under the Lights Sports and Entertainment, and the WCBL for being outstanding teammates. Their generosity helps us cover costs like web hosting fees and travel. For more on our sponsors, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.